Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, then welcome. This is Simply Lucy, and I just do everyday working mum stuff and family life and just lots of random things, probably, I guess, to look forward to, from recipes to tips to cleaning to whatever really, and whatever you guys want to see from me as well. But with that being said, today's video is something that a couple of people have asked me about, being a working mum, how I deal with mum guilt of working, because it is a reality whether you choose to work or whether you have to work because of, you know, just your family dynamics and situation that you're in, or equally the guilt can be, you know, not spending enough time with your spouse, or so this can really be for anything, but I'm coming at it from perspective sorry, I can't speak today, of being a working mum. Today I am baby free because my husband's got Amelia for a bit, so I can sit down and do this very chilled. I've even got my cup of coffee. Sorry, so I guess you could call this, like, I don't know if it's just like a chit chat, but I've got some like just tips or hacks or whatever you want to call it, things that I basically do, how I cope with the guilt to some extent. I've been back at work for about, oh gosh, how long now? 7 months or so. I took a year off with my daughter, which was absolutely wonderful. But I made the choice to go back to work for financial reasons for my family, but also I quite enjoy working. And even though I chose to go back to work full time, I still find myself feeling guilty, and that's what I'm saying. It's just something that you feel. And I've spoken to a lot of mums, you know, in different online and at work and things, and how they find being a working mum. And it is just a reality whether you choose to work or you have to work. But these are just things that I do. I'm really ranting now. Sorry, it's been a really hard, full-on week. So I'm quite tired sometimes. I don't even know what I'm doing this week. So yeah, so let's just get into it. So tip number 1, and this is something that someone asked me and it really hit home. I was just basically having a rant about how I was feeling guilty about not spending enough time with Amelia, not spending enough time with Luke, and not being able to stay on top of everything, and then I'm at work, and even though I chose to work, I was still having this conversation with someone. If you have the same issue and you chose to go back to work, or even if it's for financial reasons, then comment below if you find yourself feeling really, really guilty. But from speaking to people, it is a reality. And they basically asked me, are you doing something wrong? And I just thought to myself, oh my goodness, I've never actually thought about that. And they were like, why are you working? And I was like, well, because I enjoy working, and you know, I like the fact that I have something for myself. Not that I didn't enjoy being at home with my daughter. I absolutely loved my year. But I know for myself, I am not the stay-at-home type. I'm sociable. I like being around people. I like having something that's my own and not just being Amelia's mum. I mean, being her mum is the greatest accomplishment, you know, in this life so far, and I wouldn't change that for anything. But it really hit home. Am I doing something wrong? And I was just like, well, no, I'm not. Because for me to be a sane mum and to be the kind of mum that she deserves and wants growing up, I need to have this for myself. And it really hit a nerve, because I was like, I'm not doing something wrong. I'm doing this for her, to provide her with a future, because me being a stay-at-home mum is just not on the cards. We would not be able to afford to live with, you know, me being full-time stay-at-home mum, and that is just the reality. So in actual fact, that is something that I'm doing for my family, in which case I am doing absolutely nothing wrong. So I guess what I'm saying with this tip is that you need to decide for yourself why you are working, if you're doing something wrong, and if not, it doesn't take the guilt away completely. Don't get me wrong. I still have my days where I'm like, I've not spent time with her this week. I've got so much to get done. But just reminding myself of that gives me instant calm of, am I doing something wrong? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And if my motivation is valid for why I'm doing that, then it just gives me instant calm. And I don't know if this helps you, but for me, I mean, it's common sense, are you doing something wrong? But for someone to actually say that to you, do you think you're doing something wrong? It's really like, no. I don't know why I've not thought about that before. I'm not doing something wrong. I'm doing this for my family. Tip or hack number 2 that I do. Now, this is a really hard one for me because as you guys get to know me, I'm quite a sociable person and I like to get on with everyone. But unfortunately, I have had some encounters where people have made me feel guilty, whether it was just said by not meaning that way, just little comments. I have had, and God has blessed me with amazing friends, so this is not close friends of mine, but it's just, you meet people and you talk to people and then, you're working mum, it might be somewhere in the playground, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you went back to full time, like where you spend time with your kids. And it's just like, well, not everyone's got, the privilege to be able to stay at home with their kids, but for me, equally, I chose to go back to work, so why should I feel guilty for that choice for myself? Just because I chose to have kids does not mean that my life ends, that I cannot have something as a parent, as, a person for yourself. You can still have your family and you can still do your hobbies. You can work if you want. You can work part-time, you can work full-time. It's what you want to do to make you a better parent. Why do people just have this thing in their head that once you become a parent, that's it, your life is over, it's all about the kids? And I'm not saying your kids is not important, I love my daughter. I mean, oh my goodness, I never thought I could love anyone. I mean, I thought I loved my husband when we got married, but as soon as they took that baby out of me, it was like, oh my goodness, I'm actually gonna cry just thinking about it, because it was just like, it's the most beautiful thing when they took her out of me, and I was just like, I instantly loved this little baby. I wanted to protect her, and I want to give her all the things in life. But why do people think that just because you have kids that you cannot have your own life? It's okay to do your own thing, whether you choose to work or not. Don't let people feel guilty. And I'm rambling now. So my tip number 2 is just distance yourself or limit the time that you spend with people that make you feel guilty, or confront them in the moment about the comment. For me, I don't do that often enough, and I need to get better at when someone says something to me to actually say, I choose to work. This is better for me to be a better parent. I choose to work, and that is okay. And other people choose to stay at home, and that is a wonderful thing. Some of my friends are stay-at-home mums, and they are amazing at it. And I just think, sometimes I think like, because I was at home for a year, it is hard work being a stay-at-home mum. It is. So even for people to think that stay-at-home mums don't work, they do work. It's 24/7, and being a working parent is 24/7, so there's no easy, there's no out. And that's why this video is for anyone, because it can work the opposite way. No one should make you feel guilty for wanting to stay at home with your kids. So it's, distance yourself. If you can't confront people, then just know when to step back and just limit the time that you spend with them. It's as easy as that, because it takes stress off of you. You just feel better in yourself for doing that. Tip number 3, it's quality, not quantity. Now, I don't get a lot of time with my daughter because I work a 2-week sort of rotation. So 2 weeks out of the month, I do work full time. And that entitles me to work 2 full weekends where my husband has my daughter more. And I don't see her a lot because I would come home and she'd be in bed, and then when I leave for work she'd still be in bed. So at one point there can be like 36 hours where I don't see her, just because of the way that my shifts work. But the time I do have with her, I try and do something special with her. I do try and be present. I don't, I try not think about the housework or work or anything else like that. I just try and be in the moment with my child, and it doesn't mean go out and spend lots of money or whatever. So I would just take my daughter to the park, or on Tuesday I just took her down, made a play date with her for a couple of her friends, and just had fun on the beach, had a little picnic. And my little girl is scared of the ocean at the minute, so for me, I spent that time to try and get her to see that it's okay to play in the ocean and things. And at the end of it, she was playing, and for me as a mum, that was just like an amazing moment. I mean, it was just something so simple, just sitting on the beach and trying to get her, to play with the sand, and for her to see mum playing in the ocean and things and just being relaxed and things, and then for her to go, it's okay. And she did it, and I was so proud of her. So it doesn't necessarily mean spend lots of money, or spend all day with them, because my days off are very limited. So I do tend to split it between getting things done in the house and planning things for the week, and then spending time with my daughter. But it's just being present. If you would like a video on like things that I do with Amelia when we are home and things like that, then comment below, and I will try and plan that into my planner, because we do all sorts of things like painting. I like to make homemade paint, all that kind of thing. So just lots of little different things that doesn't cost a fortune. And then just comment and we will get to that. So yes, so quality, not necessarily quantity. If you can spend lots of time with your kids, great. But if you are like me and you do have a full-time job and have other responsibilities as well as being a parent, then go for quality, not quantity. So that's tip number 3. Okay guys, so this is the end of part 1 of this 2-part video. While editing, realized that it was a bit long, so I hope you enjoyed tip 1 through till 3, and come back next week for tip 4 through till 6. So if you like it so far, then please give it a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. So have a great week. Bye.